Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this wonderful day, wherever you're watching me, whatever time, whatever day, and whatever part of the world. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in and thank you for always being an encouragement as far as what we are doing, the job we are doing, the assignment we are doing, and the calling we are actually walking into. And this is one of those moments, one of those sessions where I have always wanted to talk about and I've always wanted to open up to you. And that is why I wanted today to talk about the cost of perfection, the cost of perfection. And as you're listening to this message, if it empowers you, if it blesses you, if it encourages you and transforms you, my ask is only one: please share it to somebody so that they can be blessed as well. Share it to somebody so that they can also get this message and be able to have their lives transformed, and they can also get out of this race of perfection that I'm going to talk about today. And today I want to explain and expound to you how perfection can be very expensive as far as our lives is concerned, as far as specifically our goals, our life purpose, and our life missions, visions, ambitions, and dreams and goals is concerned. And that is why I want to talk about the cost of perfection. Now, here is to say that perfection necessarily is not bad. Perfection is actually not bad. I encourage perfection. However, many of us and many of you listening to me right now, probably some of you listening to me right now, you haven't started a certain thing because you're waiting for a perfect moment or a certain moment as far as that particular thing is concerned. Now, many times those could be genuine situations and genuine arguments where you need a particular thing to do a particular thing, but here's to also tell you that sometimes you don't need everything to start that particular thing. And when I talk about perfection today, I'm talking about you having everything into place, every single box ticked or marked so that you can be able to start a particular thing. And I've had a lot of people making arguments, some actually valid, but some I'm like, not so valid, whereby they make arguments that I haven't had this or that, so I cannot start a particular thing or I cannot work on my goals. And specifically, when we are talking about vision, when you're talking about purpose, when you're talking about the assignment that God has given unto us to implement or to accomplish in our journeys of life, you find out that there are times where people have gotten a lot of things that they say they do not have in terms of resources, and they forget what they already have. And they look at what they do not have and magnify that, and they use it as a reason as to why they are not starting, doing, or implementing a particular thing. And that is why today I want to help you understand and realize that there is a difference between being a person who has resources and a person who is actually resourceful. You need to learn and understand, ladies and gentlemen, that many of us are actually making an argument of saying that I do not have this, and that, so I cannot start this, and that. And they are mixing that with their own reflection, and they are not interpreting it as it is. In my opinion, I think and I believe that if it is to be, it is up to me. I understand different people could start in different levels and different priorities of privileges that they have born or they have been born into. But the truth of the matter is that many people who have actually not been able to be born in certain privileges have also gone against all odds to accomplish great and mighty things as far as this journey of life is concerned. And here is also tell you and to remind you that there is a difference between having resources and being resourceful. Having resources is a plus. It is very, very important and very significant. But a person who has resources and is not resourceful chances are high that that person will lose those resources because of the lack of their resourcefulness. The other thing is, if a person does not have resources, but they are resourceful, that particular person can be able to transform that resourcefulness into attracting and accumulating resources into their game, into their life, and into their part. And that is why I want to help you and make you to have an understanding and a realization of the fact that even if you have little to start a particular thing, you should not wait until you have everything to actually start something. Many of us have been very stagnant as far as life is concerned, and many of us are actually not moving because of where they are, what they have, and they are looking at what they have, comparing to what they do not have, and they magnify what they do not have, and it is limiting them from going through working those goals, vision, and ambition and dreams they have in their hearts and in their minds. And I want to encourage you today. It's very, very important to understand and realize that humble beginnings play a very significant role as far as building yourself and your journey is concerned. Actually, starting small, starting with what you have wherever you are and with who you are, is very significant because it does not only give you an inspiring story where you will be able to share to people, to mentor others, and even bless others and encourage others with your story. It actually builds a significant resilience within you, whereby whatever it is you're building and any challenges that you're able to overcome as you're going through this journey of building and being very, very good as far as stewarding the small resources that you are having so that you can build and grow and develop that goal and vision that you have in mind. That is a resilience that will never go away. It is a resilience that you will need when you want to multiply every single step and every single level that you have been able to get to. And here is to also tell you whatever it is that you want to build, whatever it is that you want to develop, and whatever it is that you have in your heart and in your mind. Start now. Start today. Start with what you have and start where you are. Here is to tell you and to remind you that people who are actually starting small are people who oftentimes are very good steward of the results that they accomplish because they understand and realize the hard work it takes, the momentum and the sweat they had to go through, and the victory that they have been able to realize. And today I also want to encourage you as well and to tell you and to let you aware that many times that thing called perfection, where you're waiting to be perfect or you're waiting for a perfect moment or a perfect time or a perfect circumstance or a perfect position so that you can be able to get into that perfect move and make that perfect victory. Many times that perfection does not exist. And I want to help you understand and realize and to tell you that the perfect time is now and the perfect day is today. Here is to also tell you that we are people who should also understand and realize that time waits for no one. And that every time we delay, we procrastinate, and we sit down as far as putting our goals and dreams and those assignments that we've been given and they're in our hearts as a secondary mission instead of a primary mission, we are actually doing a disservice not only to ourselves but also to people who are looking up to us. By the way, somebody somewhere is looking up to you, and somebody somewhere is observing you, and somebody somewhere is making life choices because of how you live. That's by the way, and we'll talk about it some other time. But here's to also tell you and to remind you that that journey you're procrastinating from starting because you don't have a particular thing seated in a particular way or a particular time which you're waiting so that you can implement that particular vision. That thing is something that is a disservice and you're actually being unfair. Not only to those goals, not only to those dreams, not only to those ambitions and missions, but you're actually being unfair to yourself and to God, the Creator. And here's to tell you and to encourage you that you should not despise the days of humble beginnings. Do not despise the days where you will start small and the days where you start with literally almost nothing. Those days bring a lot of fulfillment, and that day needs to start today. At the end, you will look back and say, that was the perfect day, that was the perfect moment for me to start doing what I've always wanted to do in how I've always wanted to do it. And remember, every time you win, every time you make a progress, you will be rewarded. Because the reality is, to whom much is given, much is expected. And many times you're not given at the top. Many times you realize that more to be given when you have the capacity to receive, you have the capacity to handle. Some of us who are listening to me right now, there are things that if we are able to have at this point in life, instead of them being a blessing, they will actually be a curse. And that is why it is very important for us to get into that capacity so that we can be able to receive those things and they will be a blessing to us and not a curse to us. Because there are some weights that you cannot carry with the level that you are in. And so I want to finish by telling you these three things on how to get out of that perfection stagnation position that you're in. The first one is courage. You need courage to be a person who will get out of that comfort zone and be able to have the courageous spirit to go out there and actually start. Be courageous enough to start even though you will know there might be shame. Be courageous enough to know that even if I will fail, but I have to start. Be courageous enough to know that even if people will laugh at me, I will still start. Be courageous enough to know that even if I will go through different pains, discouragements, and challenges in this journey, I will still walk in it, in that path, and I will fight and I will win. That is the courage I want you to have, ladies and gentlemen, as you are walking out of this stagnant position of perfection. The second thing I want you to have is community. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you this. You do not go as far as your dream, you go as far as your team. And you need community of people who will not only challenge you positively, but they will show you some of the things as far as your mindset is concerned that you've never had exposure to. You need a community of people who are dreamers, people who are actually achieving significant things so that you can be able to emulate them and you can be able to grow like them and even beyond. You need a community of mentors, coaches, and individuals who will guide you and tell you how your potential looks like, because sometimes you can never see the picture if you are in the frame, and you need somebody to tell you how beautiful that picture is. And I mean how significant your potential is. You need a community, ladies and gentlemen, that will actually help you to refine that gift and to expose you to different opportunities and different uh, uh, areas and situations where you will be able to grow to the next level. And finally, number three, you need to be consistent. You need to be consistent by doing what you said you will do. You need to be consistent by working and making sure that you are actually going into that road, even if you are losing, believing and knowing and consistently putting in the effort until that day you will win. And remember, When that day comes where you have won, the truth of the matter is you will have another target which you have to hit, because every finish line is the beginning of a new race. So you need the consistency so that you can be able to be a person who gets up, gets out, and still tries again, even if you did not get the result you wanted to get yesterday. So, three things: community, consistency, and courage. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this blesses you. I hope this has inspired you. And I hope you have learned one or two things out of this particular message. It is my hope and prayer that this message has done something to you, has done something to your life, and even added significant value to you and through you. And that is why I ask you again to subscribe to my YouTube channel, share, like, and send this message to someone, and put on the comment how and what you have learned, and if this message has actually blessed you. Thank you so much once again. This is Charles Msilanga. I look forward to seeing you next time, and thank you again for joining this message and this wonderful service. God bless you. Goodbye.